so it's time to have some coffee, but I look at my coffee tin and uh-oh, all out. That's trouble. Need to roast more coffee. Alright, let's do it. So I'm going to walk you through the process of roasting coffee beans. I like to, after I roast them, I like to cool them in a cookie tray. This is a pretty deep double-lined cookie tray. So I'll take that out. This is where I do my roasting. Out on my side, in my side room. Got a little table and have the hot air popper there. I'm going to have to open up a window and even open up the sliding door, put the fan on and get the circulation going. So let's get on to it. Let me open up the window here. Get that. The idea is that the smoke from the roasting is going to fill this room, not fill the room, but there'll be some smoke emitted from the roaster, which is right there after I put the beans in. So I like to get the air flowing through the room. Unlock the door. Gonna have to set this fan up right there. Yep, okay. Got the make sure it's plugged in over here. Alright, plugged in. Let's get it going. Alright, so now I've got a nice little breeze kind of coming through the room. And that'll help exhaust the smoke a little bit. Alright, now I like to roast 4 ounces of beans that go into this hot air popper. So to get 4 ounces I have to measure them out exactly. Have a digital scale, a dusty digital scale, and I'm going to put the container on top so that when I zero it out, the only thing it's going to be measuring is the beans. So it counts down 3, 2, 1, and there's now 0 ounces inside this thing. Here's the beans. I get it from a local coffee shop called Sunergas, and it's going to be Guatemala, Antigua, Panchoy. Not sure the whole details of the history or the particular type, but that's what we're going with. That's what I have in place. You can see the beans are green coffee beans. I guess they've been picked and washed, and now they are not roasted. They're going to be roasted here in just a few minutes. But here's what I do. I'm going to open that up. Hold on. Open up the bag. Alright, I got the bag open. I'm going to pour 4 ounces into here. Keep on pouring until I get enough ounces. So I got 1 1/4, 2 ounces, 3 ounces, 3 1/4, 3 3 4. Stop. Alright, so that is 4 ounces of beans inside this container that I use to transport it around. Okay, now begin the roasting process. This is just a hot air popper that I have bought it at Goodwill, I'm sure, at some point in the last year. Here's the cover to the hot air popper. This box here is going to catch the holes. The holes are kind of part of the bean. After it roasts, it kind of pops a little bit and off comes the hole. And it's really just a paper thin, very thin sheath, I guess, around the bean that pops off and goes into here. Alright, so we're going to pour the beans into the hot air popper, just right down the throat of the hot air popper. And the hot air comes up through the bottom of it and gets these beans rolling. You'll see that in just a sec. Alright, so I'm going to put the hood on. Hood here. Put it on top of this hot air popper and kind of get everything arranged. There's that, arranged. The hole's going to pop in the box there. Got my timer here. I got it set for 7 minutes. Now, that's just a kind of an average, and most of it's done by listening. So I'm going to just get the whole thing started. I'm going to plug in the hot air popper and it'll get going, and then set the timer. Let's do that. There's no on-off switch, so I got to just plug it right in. There's that. Can't see in there very good, but yeah, you kind of can. But the beans are down in there, and the air is rushing up around it. And as the roast begins, they'll get lighter and start to roll a little bit. In the meantime, I've got to start my timer. Alright, that's going. Alright, so here's the magic, which isn't very magical. The hot air, I can already smell them roasting. The hot air comes up through here, makes the beans roll. I can see them spinning a little bit. Let me get that rolling a little bit. You can see them spinning. You can already see some of the hull, some of the husk coming off and flying out, flying into the box. Starting to see some smoke. Not sure if you can see that smoke. Let me see if there's a better angle. A little bit of smoke, but the smell is awesome. Got a story about the smell, but I'll leave that for a different time. Alright, here it is roasting along. The beans are starting to move a little bit because they're getting lighter. As the roast occurs, they lose moisture, I presume, and they get light and they start to get pushed around by the air a little more. What we're really waiting for is to hear the crack of the beans, which when cold is called the first crack. And it should be a distinctive sound, like a dry twig cracking. And then we got to watch it after that pretty carefully. I'll just let it roast here. Shake things up just a little bit, make sure it's evenly distributed in there. Definitely smells good. This is one of the best parts of roasting beans is the smell and then the taste. Got a nice breeze coming in, so air's coming in and going across here and out the patio door. Alright, I can see the beans are getting brown. They're starting to roast. I'm not sure if you can see that through the field there. I can tell they're getting a little bit brown. You might hear a pop pretty soon. It looks like it's been about, well, maybe about 4 minutes. I just heard a pop. expensive, loud, dry twig sounding. Just let them roast, let them tumble and crack. Okay, so now I got to decide when to stop this process, and I guess that's more the art than the science. There's another crack coming up called second crack, and by the time you get that far into the roast, things are roasted well, maybe too well, depending on how you like it and the type of bean and some other factors. But I'm going to begin to get watching things real carefully. See a little more smoke coming out now. It seems to be like a second phase. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the bean, but that's just what I've learned. Now we're getting, well, it might be the second crack. It's a little less loud. Not quite the dry twig, but yep, that sounds like second crack right there. Well, I'm going to, I think, get this one done and put these beans into the cookie sheets to cool off. See, the roast is about done. Here's how that happens. You unplug it. Yep, we'll unplug it. Take the top off. There they are, still cracking, still roasting, so I got to cool them off. Cool them off, we pour it on the cookie sheet. They're still cracking a little bit, so I got to get them over by the fan. You grab it, go over by the fan, and put them down in there, and I can still hear them cracking a little bit. But make sure the fan is blowing over it. I got the fan kind of blowing over the cookie sheet, blowing the smoke out a little bit. I can move these around a little bit, distribute the heat to the cookie sheet, and then they just sit there and cool. That's about it. That looks like a nice batch. I'll get to looking at that in a second. But they're not roasting anymore. They're still very warm. They're not very warm, just kind of warm. There's the timer. I didn't really use it, but just in case, I go ahead and set it each time. I'll always turn him off. Back to 7 it is, and he's done. And that's it. I kind of leave it like that. Leave the roaster sitting there for the next batch, which could happen soon. Got my green beans, green coffee beans still there. Alright. Then I pretty much head on in and take the beans with me back into the kitchen. Put them there. We'll take a look at them. That one looked pretty good. That was a good roast. So often there's a few that aren't quite roasted or turn a little funny, but this entire batch looks really good. And that just let them kind of cool a little bit. And then the fun part, well, not the real fun part, but the good part, I put them right back in this little can. Let them sit till tomorrow before I grind them, and that'll be maybe the next episode, is the grinding of these beans and making a cup of coffee. Alright, that's it.